Hey gang, this is my book haul video for April. I'm buying books at a faster rate than I can read them. Hashtag first world problems. All right, so this month I made a journey up to DuPont Circle in Washington, D.C., which is where I live. There's a wonderful bookstore there called Second Story Books. They do used books. They have a lot of old collectible first editions. They have a lot of like medieval vellum copies, all kinds of very expensive things. But if you don't have a huge budget like I don't, you can also go and pick up some very great cheap books there. So they also have a warehouse in Maryland. I haven't been to it, but I hear it's amazing. So I picked up 4 books at the Second Story bookstore. The first is the third in the series of Horatio Hornblower by C.S. Forester. This is Hornblower and the Hotspur, the third in the series. I've been slowly working my way through these. I really like these. They take place on the high seas. There's a lot of adventure. There's a lot about sailing and seamanship, which I'm interested in. So these are a lot of fun. This will be the third one. These are not in the order that they are written. These are ordered in chronological order because he jumped around within the chronology of his universe a little bit. Next, I have the Dover Publications edition of Montague Summers, The Vampire in Lore and Legend. Now, Montague Summers was a 20th century eccentric early 20th century, who firmly, completely with all his heart believed in vampires, werewolves, and witches. And he wrote a lot of extremely scholarly texts about these subjects. There's a lot of Latin and Greek in them. They're very well researched. He really attacked it with the fervor of a true historian of something that he believed in. He was a Roman Catholic. He was obsessed with the idea that witches were in league with the devil and they were going to try to do bad things to the world. So kind of a weird guy, but very interesting. If you're interested in the folklore and mythology of werewolves, vampires, and witches, his works are the best. You can't do better than his because they're so thoroughly researched and he's put so much time and effort into them. So I've read a couple of his other books. I'm looking forward to reading this one. Next, I got this beautiful red leather-bound copy of The History of the Kings of England by Geoffrey of Monmouth. It came in a slipcase. It's published by the Folio Society. These are expensive new, but you can get them used. I mean, it looks like new. There's no visible wear and tear on it. I don't think it's ever been read, but you get a huge discount if you buy them used, so that's a good deal. This is the really famous early history of Britain. It's not considered historically reliable. It's got a lot of stuff about Merlin and King Arthur, but from the standpoint of being interested in those type of subjects, I've heard it's a really interesting read. I've always wanted to read it, never gotten around to it, and since I saw this beautiful copy of it for a cheap price, I thought I'd pick it up and see what I can do with it. And then finally, the last book I got is another Folio Society, and this is called The English Eccentrics by Edith Sitwell. And I didn't know anything about this book when I picked it up. I just saw it, and I like England, and I like eccentrics. So I thought I'd pick it up and start to read it. I haven't really started it yet, but it looks interesting. It's about, it has a long passage about Herbert Spencer, who I'm a fan of in there. He was apparently very eccentric. And so I'm interested in seeing what kind of stuff people in the 19th century and early 20th century in England were getting up to, and all the crazy stuff that they were about. This should be a good read. I'm looking forward to that one a lot too. So those are the books I have for April that I bought that I'm trying to get through. I also have a huge 2-read stack that's just, I'm working my way through very slowly. As you know, I'm also reading the Marcel Proust series. That's taking forever, but I'm hoping to finish that within the next couple months. And I will keep you apprised of all the books that I get to and what I think of them. I've been Logan Albright. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.